Welcome to IGCSE Sociology Specimen Paper Guide series. So here we are at our last part of question number 1, and the last part E, saying that explain research method and evidence that you would choose to investigate and how young people use the internet. Give some reasons for your choice, right? So your answer should include 2 primary methods with a relevant sampling and 1 source for the secondary evidence. So we have basically 12 marks for this question, and they already have specified us what things we have to answer, right? So as I told you, that 2 primary research methods. So what they are saying, that 2 primary research method, 2 primary research methods that might include questionnaires, interviews, and interviews with relevant sampling. And number second things that we have to add is the reason for one secondary source, and that could be either official statistics or academic studies. Official statistics and academic study. And then you have to provide the reason for choice. Reason for our choice. So to provide the reason for our choice, you will talk about the validity, reliability, and practicality. We'll talk about validity and reliability. And then we have application to the context. Application to context. What does it mean? How these methods help to investigate the internet use. Right. So this is the overall format of our question that we have to provide while answering to this particular section, section E. Now, if we talk about the marking scheme, what is the criteria? The criteria is quite simple. If you see that examiner want us to write or want us to provide the method and the evidence. Method and evidence. Like detailed description of 2 primary methods and 1 secondary source. Right. So you have to provide the detailed explanation for both of these 2 points, right? And for that particular thing, you would be able to get 4 marks. And then number second, reason for choice. Reason for choice. Justification based on the sociological concept. Justification based on sociological concept. Sociological concept. Like validity, reliability, generalizability, up to so on. And then by providing the reason for your choice, you would be able to score 4. And the third things that you have to provide is the application to the context. You can see you would be able to get 4 score for that point, providing reason 4 point for this one, and the last one, application to the context. Application to the context, you will be able to get 4 marks, right? So how the method specifically apply to investigate the young people internet use, and this is how you would be able to get 12 marks in part E. Now let's come on to the question and see that how we can attempt this one. So the first argument that we can provide it over here is the primary research methods. You can use the headings, primary research methods. So for the primary research methods, we have basically number 1, questionnaire. questionnaires. Here you can talk about from both perspective, closed and open-ended. Closed and open-ended, right? So what you will talk about, you will talk about the sampling method in this question. Sampling method, like stratified sampling, age group 13 to 18 and 19 to 25, and then you will talk about the advantages, right? Advantages: collect quantitative data on time spent online, social media preferences, and then the large sample size making result generalizable, right? So keep in mind the investigation, we are going to investigate the young people internet use. So first we will talk about from the research, primary research method. We'll talk about the questionnaires and then sampling method. Why you are going to use sampling method? We are going to use the stratified sampling. You will talk about that what is the advantages of this sampling. So what we said, that the collect the quantitative data on time spent online, social media preferences. You will explain them in detail in your own words. And then the large sample size making results generalizable. Moreover, you might talk about disadvantages. Now what you will talk about in the disadvantages, you might say that limited depth, like cannot understand that why young people use the internet in a certain way, right? So number second, from the primary research method, you can talk about the semi-structured interviews. Semi-structured interviews. So here again, first we will talk about the sampling method, and then we will talk about the sampling method. What sample you will choose? We will choose snowball sampling. So asking initial respondent to refer others, right? You will explain them, and then you will talk about its advantages. What advantages that you can write? Provide the qualitative data. For example, feelings about the social media, right? And then you might provide its disadvantages. For the disadvantages, you might say that it's a time consuming. Obviously, it takes time. So it is time consuming and may lack the objectivity due to interviewer bias, right? So now you can see that what we did, we provide two arguments from the primary research methods. Now move on to the second source that we have is a secondary source. So secondary source, we have either academic papers or we have the official statistics. So you might choose anyone. So for now, we are choosing official statistics. For example, internet uses the reports from the government or the research agencies. So if we talk about the advantages, for the advantages, provide the historical data trend. Write about it. We can guess something by looking at our historical data, and then data is the large scale and representative. If we talk about the disadvantages, what things you can write it over here? You might say that might not be specific to a young pupil. It's overall, right? So government statistics may be outdated, right? Now we'll talk about the third point, that why these methods you have chosen. Why these methods? So you might say that triangulation mean that combining different methods, both quantitative the qualitative one, ensure a comprehensive study. So that is the first argument that we choose these two one. And then you might talk about the questionnaires like provide the large scale trends, while interviews explore the detailed personal experiences. You have to talk about in the context, so at least you would be able to know that how to relate it with your context, right? So during the justification you have to talk about this, as I mentioned, the triangulation that provide a comprehensive studies, while questionnaires it provide the large scale trend, while interviews explore the detailed personal experience. You can see that I'm relating with the context, I'm relating my justification with these two source of research method. And then official statistics validate primary research finding. So this is how you would be able to get 12 out of 12 marks by explaining all these points. Now keeping in mind that they talk about three things in the questions. First, you have to provide these two primary methods, then one source for the secondary method, and then give reason for your choices. So this is how we provide the choices. During the choices you have to link your paragraph with the context that we are talking about over here, right? So this is how you have to answer question number 1, paper number 1, research method. If you have any query, just comment below, I will respond to you accordingly. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe this video so you can get the notification of our upcoming videos.